hey. Say hey. Here, you want that? Here. There you go. I'm letting her play with the computer. Y'all know this wrong. But it's keeping her quiet. Her sister's asleep. The kids is gone. So, fear. Fear. I didn't realize how deep fear went. What are you doing? Like that. Okay, so I was watching this movie called Defending Your Life on Oprah Winfrey's Network. Love Oprah Winfrey's Network. Love it. She has so many spiritual food nuggets and morsels to be good, you know. What? Okay. So I was watching this, and he went up to heaven, and he was meeting with his attorney in heaven, and he was defending his life. And the guy was telling him, like, you defend your life, and you see your life lessons, and if the judge feels like you didn't learn enough, you have to go back and do it again. And he was like, human beings only use 5% of their. I didn't know Dick Clark died. I'm sorry. Okay. Y'all know I'm scatterbrained. Anyway, so he was like, human beings only use 5% of their brain. So generally human beings use 3% of their brain. And he was like, what happens if you get to 5%? He was like, then you don't want to be on Earth anymore. I started hollering because I felt like that. Like, oh my God, you get to a certain point where you understand the nature that reality is really an illusion. You know how many near-death experiences Oprah Winfrey had this? I know I'm switching subjects. Just go with me. She had this show called Beyond Belief, and the people were talking about near-death experiences, and they asked the guy, how do you know it's not a hallucination? And he said, because being dead, the experience I had when I was dead felt so real that it being in this body and being alive now feels like a dream. That felt real, and this felt like the dream, because that is real and this is the dream. But, if you don't know what I mean by that, then, you're not there in your spiritual journey. And if you keep seeking the truth, you'll get that. So the guy was like, once you use 5% of your brain, you don't want to be here. And he was like, well, what do other people do? And he was like, well, they just, they basically, you experience the creator. Like, God created all of this to experience God. All of this is God. So he says, are you clicking the button? Are you serious? So he says, most of the time when human beings are on Earth, they deal with fear. That's what they're mostly dealing with on a daily basis. And I realized that my first spiritual awakening was, I had a question. And my aunt was my pastor, and I asked the question, and the answer she gave me absolutely made no sense. A lot of times fear keeps you from acknowledging certain things ain't right or answering questions. Like, I'll give you a good one. Most people that are religious are not going to want to acknowledge this. What are you doing? She's starting all type of stuff. Oh my goodness. Here, do that. I don't know what you went to. What was I saying? This, because this has been on my mind. Okay. Because I heard somebody on TV say this, and every Christian knows this. That the Bible tells you that God wants you to love the sinner and hate the sin. But then the Bible tells you love everybody unconditionally. I just realized this contradiction, the other day, because you can't do both. You can't love everybody unconditionally if you hate sin, because sin is a part of them. It's a part of everybody. What they do wrong is a part of who they are. So you can't hate what they do wrong and really, really love them. That is where the judgmentalness of being a Christian comes in. I definitely don't think it's on purpose. But Christians are taught, myself included, I was taught to love the sinner but hate the sin. You can't do both if you love people unconditionally. If you love people unconditionally, you have to love and accept every single thing about them, which most people can't do. Most people love with conditions. I'll love you as long as you give me this or treat me this way. I'll be with you as long as you don't make mistakes and, don't hurt me and don't cheat on me. Or I'll accept you as long as you're a good kid and you make good grades and, I'll treat you good. If you're gay, I can deal with you being a human being on the face of this earth, but I really can't talk to you. I really can't fuck with you. I definitely can't accept you. I definitely can't embrace you. Oh, hell no, because that's a sin. But then you're not really loving that person unconditionally. And it's so funny because I don't feel to this day that my stepfather loves me unconditionally. I don't really think he loves me at all. I mean, I think he loves me. I think he doesn't know how to love unconditionally, and he's an assistant pastor of a church, and he just doesn't know how to love unconditionally. I don't think it's something that he does on purpose. And I used to be like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And then after a while, I realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm perfect. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, But you got these problems with loving people unconditionally and accepted them. The bad part about me is I'm a rebel. I don't do what people tell me to do. You tell me to go left, I go right, just because I like to stir the pot. I like to keep it interesting. So unfortunately, okay, all right. I'm making sure she didn't turn this video off. Okay, go ahead. So unfortunately, I don't get accepted a lot. Then I was like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why don't people accept me? Why are people judgmental? Why are people this? Why are people that? It's because they don't know how to love unconditionally. See, my problem has never been loving people unconditionally. It's been accepting where they are and accepting that wholeheartedly. So essentially, I'm having a problem with loving them unconditionally because they're completely unconscious. And I know it, and it makes me angry because the truth can be right in front of your face and you don't want to see it because you're scared. You're scared of change. You're scared of what if I'm wrong? The majority of the people that, I was talking to, hold on one second. These are my children. Yes. Hello. Yes. Okay, y'all better go and come right back. All right. I'm waiting on y'all. Okay. I know. I'm waiting on you, though. All right. Lord have mercy. I gave my 10-year-old a phone. See what happens? Mom, can we go to the candy store? I know it's almost 6. Okay, anyway. What was I saying? Well, I for a long time I didn't even want to say nothing on YouTube because I'm like, oh my God, the Christians are gonna be mad at me, and the people are going, I don't care, because it's not my problem, and at the end of the day, I take don't do that. I take responsibility for really nothing. I don't owe anybody nothing because. So, the good thing is I don't have beliefs. I have theories and concepts, and they can be modified and changed, and I don't stay in a box. Therefore, I'm always growing. I'm always open-minded about anything. But what my inner spirit rejects as, that don't sound right, I don't go with it. And can't no amount of a book that says good things and bad things, but most people say you can't accept the bad. You can't accept the good. You can't pick and choose the Bible. You've heard this a lot. And I'm like, why not? Who said? The preacher? The Bible? Okay, well, fuck it. I'm not going to do none of it then. Aisha Isi Favors in this body, I can do what I want to do. I can do what I want to do. Now, whatever choices I make, for every action, there's a reaction. That's universal law. These laws are put in place for us to learn from. So whatever choice I make, there's a reaction. Sometimes I do kind of be like, well, what if I'm wrong? But then I'm stand up in my own holy spiritual conviction of, let me be wrong. Let me be wrong. Pray for me. If that's what you feel like you want to do, you can't have that anymore because you're going to break it. Here, get down. Because you going through it. Yeah, put that back on there. You know, like, yeah, put that back on there. Yeah. Like, you know, but at the end of the day, I can't tell somebody how to react. And my biggest moment of acceptance is accepting that whether somebody is conscious, unconscious, you know, rude, mean, nice, sweet, whatever, however they are, they're still a part of God's creation. And that's not for me to accept responsibility for. That's for me to experience, observe, and keep it moving. It's not even for me to teach. I can share things, but I would never look at myself as a teacher. I wouldn't, because I don't want that role. I don't want that responsibility, because I do feel like there's a responsibility that comes along with it. There are so many people that are on YouTube. Okay, I'm still talking about YouTube. That are spiritual gurus and, you know, teaching the secrets of the universe and not really teaching the truth. I'm going to stop this video. Thank you for watching. If you want to come back and watch the next one, feel free. All right.